Gabriella in the third movie has a very strange vibe to her. She's sort of like a Lord of the Rings elf, where she kind of like floats around through the movie and is like, Troy, I have to go.
That's true. It is really similar to Arwen in Lord of the Rings, where she's just like, I have to go.
She's like, one last dance. I'm not coming back. And you know, Troy's just like, everything's falling apart.
Welcome back to Nostalgia Club. We've just finished our very important vocal exercises, much like a certain character on a property that we are discussing today called High School Musical. My name is Michael, and I am joined by, at this point in time, 3 other people. Normally it's 2. The 2 that you are probably expecting are as follows.
Victoria.
And Jino.
And we are joined by a 4th individual today named...
Shannon.
Shannon? Well, who the heck are you? I mean, gosh, we've had coworkers and sound designers, people in the industry and whatnot on this podcast before, but I don't see the requisite, like, little icon floating above your head that says, I work 12 hours a day every single day on a film set, so who the heck are you?
Michael, I'm your sister.
You're my sister? My sister, whom I haven't seen for, actually, it's only been like a month. But normally, you're off on the other side of the country.
I am. Yeah, hi, everyone. I'm Shannon.
Hey, we're so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
It was like a week ago, we were about to record the High School Musical episode. And I said, no, don't. Stop, please, because my sister's going to be in town in like a week. And Shannon, you spent a lot of time with High School Musical as a youngin'.
Mm-hmm. So it only felt fitting that I joined today.
Are you and Victoria the same age?
I think we are.
I think so.
There have been moments where Michael will be telling a story about your experience growing up, and I'm like, that sounds about the same age I was when I experienced that.
Yeah.
Now, let's see. Today we're talking about all 3 High School Musical movies. The first one came out in, 2005?
Mm-hmm.
And Jino, you said you saw that one.
I've seen that one. I haven't seen the other 2 until this week, and it was an experience, and I'm excited to discuss it. But no, very little High School Musical experience. I've said the word experience too much.
That's quite all right, because there's tons of experiences I think that we're going to be talking about today in general, spread between at least the remaining 3 of us, and then inevitably the hyper-compressed experience that you had with High School Musicals 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Wait, I was wrong. It came out in 2006.
High School Musical, the first one.
Yeah. So it was 2006, High School Musical 1, then 2007, High School Musical 2, and then 2008, High School Musical 3.
Wow, they made these
They
fast.
churned these out.
The thing I'm most impressed with, and we'll get into it, but the thing I'm most impressed with is that they were able to not only do the whole production, but also whip up, like, sequel stories for what was one of, 12 Disney Channel original movies that they made in, 2006. Okay, listener, if you go on the Wikipedia for Disney Channel original movies, a lot of stuff basically before COVID hits is like 10 movies a year that they're just cranking out. I don't know who it is who's doing all these things. I don't know if it's the same crews. I imagine there's got to be some amount of that. But they were just cranking these things out. And High School Musical, the original, was just like one in a slew of other movies, including some sequels. Like, I think there was a Cheetah Girls sequel in there. Shannon, you remember Cheetah Girls.
I have the CD.
You were showing me a High School Musical one.
Mm-hmm. But the Cheetah Girls 2 CD was, we don't have to get into that, but that was the first CD I've ever bought with my own money.
That's awesome.
The Disney Channel original movie musical is a force of nature from the 2000s. And you had a karaoke machine.
Yeah. So I had a karaoke machine that was American Idol branded, but you could buy CDs for, anything that were karaoke. And I had the High School Musical 2 karaoke CD that you could sing along with the machine.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
You also did not need the...
Pretty large machine just to do something you can do on YouTube now, but...
It also didn't stop you from singing the songs at any given time. In the car, on long car drives, the same songs.
In the living room.
Am I detecting some resentment here?
Yeah, how did you feel about that, Michael?
Oh, well, at the time, I would probably sit through about 3 lines, especially when it was like the same line sung over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes, and then I would be like, "Stop!" But I feel shame for this now. How could I have silenced an artiste? How could I have silenced one who so greatly loved art that she would give her one and only voice to sing it?
Classic younger sister annoying her older brother.
You did get a kick out of, I think, irritating me regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is for
Part of the
certain.
fun.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. What's happening here?
But sorry, I am distracting us from the inevitable process of breaking down not only the behind-the-scenes details, but also the plots of these movies. How do we want to discuss High School Musicals? I mean, I can say in brief, High School Musical is a Romeo and Juliet sort of inspired, the first movie anyway, story of a basketball jock named Troy Bolton and academic decathlon genius named...
Recent school transfer.
Yes, another classic trope of many an anime, and yet this is not an anime. Gabriella Montez. She and Troy meet at some sort of
New Year's Eve party.
Yeah.
At a ski resort, wasn't it?
It's
Yeah.
unclear to me.
Something like that.
Yeah. There's a ski resort that simultaneously has a giant basketball court where Troy can play with his dad in order to introduce the fact that his life is basketball. And then there's apparently a New Year's party for the kids downstairs. So Troy goes down. Gabriella doesn't really want to socialize, so she brings a book down, but then they both get roped into singing a duet together. And it's the start of something new.
Literally. And how does it go, Shannon?
From the top.
From the top.
Living in my own world. Couldn't understand
Wow.
that anything could happen.
When you take a chance? Yeah, that's it.
And then Gabriella chimes in.
I never believed it.
And then we impressed.
We could go the whole song, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to test the limits.
This is healing to Michael's inner child who refused to sing along.
Yeah. And we're also baiting the Disney copyright system. It's transformative.
But yes, we have 3 movies to go over today, and our plot summaries are usually quite long.
But
Gino's like, please,
Well,
please.
if I could make a bold claim, not a lot happens in these movies.
That's fair.
Not a
That's
lot
fair.
to cover right now.
When I first, again, I'd only seen the first movie. I think during a rap party for a Shakespeare camp I was in senior year of high school.
A Shakespeare camp.
And I think I was the only person in the room who hadn't seen High School Musical. And so they bullied me into it. And
This
I
has
remember,
happened a few times with you.
Yeah, I'm out of touch. And
No, I meant people bullying you into seeing movies.
I'm out of touch and I'm easily coerced. And the major feeling I had watching that movie was, that's it? Partially because the hype behind the second and third movies was so much on Tumblr. And in my brain, I sort of combined all 3 movies into one mega movie. And so I was expecting more, but also it's easy to have a very thin plot in a musical because so much of the story is taken up by music. And if the music is not actively moving the plot forward, then you basically have just a little bit of plot, a lot of music, a little bit of plot, a lot of music.
Yeah.
And some musicals do this better than others. I think the third High School Musical does a really, really great job of cramming a lot of plot into its runtime, but the first one does not. And it's basically just the period of time between the signups for tryouts for a musical are posted and the tryouts for the musical. That's
yeah, they
it.
actually don't even make it to the musical. It's just callbacks.
Which was
Yeah.
wild to me. And then watching it again, I was like, yeah, they really don't do very much.
Yeah, I just had that realization while watching the movie, again, that we didn't even get to,
Yeah, we don't even get to see it.
yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer,
Uh-huh.
honestly.
Yeah, we don't have
because
a
it's
musical.
so much build up to Troy and Gabriella being the leads in the musical, but we don't actually see them do it.
And it creates some really weird dissonance because then in the second movie, because we don't see the musical, we don't know how it went. We don't know how we don't know if Troy liked it. And so he comes back kind of like, I don't sing. And we're like, we just watched a whole movie of you singing. What are you talking about? And then again in the third movie, he's like, I'm going to do basketball. And we're like, Troy, what are you talking about? But also, we don't get a musical into the third movie.
Yeah.
Which they do really well. And I really like it. But, 3 movies of waiting.
We
better
do
be
watch
good.
them paint set pieces for a long time, though.
Paint set pieces and talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have hijinks. Actually, not a whole lot of hijinks now that I think about it.
Well, I guess there's the big hijinks of the basketball team and the decathlon team plotting to get Troy and Gabriella to abandon their hopes and dreams of being in a musical.
That is true.
That's the one big heist. And then I guess the heist at the end where they do the reverse.
What are they heisting, Victoria?
It's not a heist, but it's like heist vibes.
They're heisting young love.
Where
they're
they're
stealing
like-
it away.
Well, they do this whole thing where they like turn off the electricity in the
Right.
gym.
They
And
are-
then
Well, I was thinking of the first heist, the heist of young love, wherein the decathlon team and the basketball team do something that is honestly really cruel.
yeah, they make Gabriella watch Troy
Succumb to peer pressure.
Yeah.
And be like, I don't care about singing or Gabriella. I just want to do basketball. They like
but all
live
of this
stream
is
it.
kind of because of Sharpay, because she makes the callbacks at the same time as the decathlon and the game, which makes them have to make this big plan.
Sharpay needs to calm down. Every movie, she comes in with like the worst energy imaginable. The worst as in like, I'm here to destroy lives, not as like, I'm bringing a bad vibe.
No,
Yeah.
her attitude is awful.
Their attitude is awful.
But her vibes are unparalleled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because every single song that she does is like, I'm in it. I'm here for it.
she's the star.
She craves
Yeah.
power and control. And then at the end of every single movie, she's sort of like, it's a fine. I'm cool now. We're all chill.
And at the very end, when she's like, I'm going to stay here. And then she has to like hit it with, but I'm going to be back at East High and I will ruin your life.
Yeah.
That feels right for her. Like she has dominated this pond.
I don't know, but she had such big dreams at the beginning of High School Musical 3 to like become a star, go to Hollywood, make it onto all the billboards, and then she just decides to stay at East High.
Just out of spite.
Yeah. I don't know. She should have let
I mean,
that
she is going to
random girl.
college, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
doing drama, but at like a smaller
The University of Albuquerque.
university.
Can we
I
talk
don't
about
know
how
if
this
that's
movie is set
just
in
not-
Albuquerque?
But wasn't it filmed all in Utah?
The
Because-
actual school, yeah, is in
Yeah,
Utah.
because Utah kept giving them money because they were like, wait a minute. The tourism potential for this one high school.
Yeah.
Where were we in the
We were getting started on the plot of High School Musical 1, which is basically like we've been talking about. Troy and Gabriella arrive at East High. Troy is about to play in the basketball championships, or they're gearing up for the championships at the end of the basketball season. And Gabriella is new to the school, so she just wants to not make waves. And it's also kind of her chance to reinvent herself. So she's like, I don't really want to like get into any clubs until I figure out what I want to do. But then Troy decides to sign up for the audition for the musical because he had such a great moment singing with Gabriella at New Year's. And Gabriella's like, well, if you're trying out, I'll try out with you. And it's sort of an impromptu tryout because at first the high school drama teacher is like, you guys were late, so I'm not going to let you try out. But then they decide to sing with Kelsey, who's the pianist and the composer of the musical. And then the drama teacher is like, wow, you guys are really good. Practice and do callbacks in an unknown amount of time.
Which callbacks for a high school production is wild to me. That seems like a level of extra, which honestly, this whole school is a level of extra. I cannot. They're like souping up hot rods in their garage for a class?
Is that well? I saw that and I was like, one, this is a pretty big garage for
Yeah.
a high school. But I was like, what is that? Shop, not shop, or
That's a level beyond shop.
aren't there some schools that have like classes like that? It's like trades.
Oh,
classes.
like trade schools. But that's more like,
Oh.
isn't that usually after high school? It's like you go to a trade school.
I think you can. I
But,
just. I
no,
don't know.
you're right. I think there are some high schools.
There are some,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Regardless, they had a huge one, and the only people I saw in there were adults. I will say, whenever they had like
Yeah.
glimpses of that like garage, I only
It feels
saw...
like they were just like, we need this other random cool area for Troy to walk through
That's
when
all
he's
they really
sneaking
do.
into the theater.
Yeah. And then
So-
Sharpay's like, how dare you infringe on my territory? And then they do a whole song about everyone should do one thing really well and nothing else. And then
Min-max the song.
everyone should min-max, but then they go, why don't we diversify ourselves? And then they sing, and then it's great. And then they get the part, and everyone's happy. And they fall in love.
Yay.
And Sharpay's like, ugh, I guess I'm fine with it. And then she's not.
Until the second movie.
Yeah. And then the second movie, which is literally about workers' rights. Working class hero of the proletariat, Troy Bolton, is corrupted by the
allure.
excess, the allure of the top 1%.
Sharpay and her family keep pulling Troy into like family dinners, and he has no choice because he technically works for them.
But then they bribe him with college basketball
Yeah.
players.
There's like a weird level of like honey sweet, like you said, coercion, where it's like, given a choice, he would not go to dinner with Sharpay's family or assent to singing with Sharpay at any point in time. But when you combine like his general like polite attitude with also like this is his job and these people could fire him if they want, and also they have something to offer him in terms of like admission to this college that he wants, it turns into like this weirdly nuanced kind of like heel turn for him that he like doesn't realize he's doing until he's done it.
He's nice and he's dumb, but there's a hint of ambition there.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and once he grabs onto that ambition, he kind of gets tunnel vision.
Mm-hmm.
And the working people have to to make him see
Yeah.
what his betrayal has done to the community that he created by getting them all jobs there.
I swear, if all it took to like fully reinvent the way you think about the world was like a walk on a golf course and like a fist pumping musical number,
Hey, a really cool walk on a golf course.
it's all him.
It's all him.
It's a flat landscape, distant mountains, and Zach Efron, and he carries it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he improvised that whole thing.
did he improvise
Yeah.
that
What?
whole
So
dance?
the story is they got on set that day, and Zach Efron asked the director, Kenny Ortega, like, so what's the plan? Usually there's some choreography or just something going on. And the director was just like, honestly, we actually don't have a plan for this one. And Zach Efron was like, well, we're on a golf course, so let's use it. And he just did that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Zach Efron.
Yeah.
That number really carried.
And it's so iconic.
Yeah.
But I think it is so iconic because it just feels so like, these are my emotions and I'm just letting go of them.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if I look silly. Like, this is my moment to just like be conflicted and also decide what I'm going to do afterwards. And it's great.
Yeah.
Similar to the Scream number in the third movie.
Yeah.
And the way he puts on some good performances. And I was saying to Michael how he's just like so light on his feet, and he made the way he like dances and makes the whole number is like very powerful for what this movie is.
I was routinely in every single movie so impressed with Zac Efron's like command of his own physicality.
Yeah. And
he
also,
has the strongest physicality of any of the other cast members, which honestly, like, I couldn't imagine anyone else as Troy Bolton.
Right.
Because it's like, I mean, I guess it makes sense because he's like a basketball player. So it's like his body is his way of expressing himself, not just on the court, but in theater. I don't know if this makes any sense, but
no, that makes perfect sense. There's this feeling among non-High School Musical fans that like, oh, Zac Efron, he's that guy who did those dumb musicals when he was a kid, and now he's a cool, good actor. He really became a good actor. Wow. But no, he's always been a good actor. He killed it.
yeah.
There is something I really love watching these movies and seeing, I think pretty much, if not every actor coming to the role with like full commitment. Because like these things are hammy as heck. These movies know exactly what they're supposed to be and who they're like targeted towards. And every single person is like going at it with full commitment. If you're able to, we'll talk about on this podcast about like trying to meet like a book or a movie sort of where it's at and everything. It is good advice for art in general. But like it's so much easier to do it in some ways when you see every single like actor doing that exact same thing.
Yeah. They take it seriously, so you want to take it seriously.
Yeah, like they figure out how to deliver lines that like read straight would sound like, man, what the heck is this? But then you have like Zac Efron like leaning there with his like picnic blanket of pizza and like strawberries and like saying something in a certain way that just sort of works out And I'm just like, I believe it. I believe it from you. I mean, you're very much a character, but I believe it from you.
So, Jino, since this was your first time watching the second and the third, what was your initial, to the bet on it number, your initial reaction, since it is such an iconic moment?
I realized I've heard the song before playing places, I don't know, in shopping malls. That was the one part of High School Musical 2 I had the most knowledge of because it's been gift so many times. Just gift to
And
hell.
memed.
Yeah.
The
and
part where
memed.
Troy holds out his hands and then people put stuff in his hands.
Yeah.
No one else could have come up with this expression. I think fully if Kenny Ortega had choreographed Bet on It, it wouldn't be as iconic. I'm sure
Yeah.
Zac Efron
And
would have
he-
still put everything into it, but it's just he came up with stuff that no one else would have thought of.
It was, up to that point, my favorite High School Musical song until the third movie. The initial 16 minutes basketball song.
Best song.
That
song goes
blew
hard.
me out of the water. Honestly, the opening of High School Musical 3 is
Yes.
and this is overused, but it's pure cinema.
Yeah.
And it scared me with how
The upgrade.
the upgrade. It looks like it was filmed on celluloid. And I looked this up and it was,
Okay.
but I couldn't find any information about what the other two were filmed on. But it looks like they went from, I assume, digital. I don't know what they were using to film in 2006 with, but I assume they were using maybe TV grade camera.
Probably, yeah.
And then for the third one, they were like, this is playing in theaters. We're going to go all out. Because I could see the grain. And I was like, whoa. And the detail on Zac Efron's face.
The
And
sweat
his sweaty
dripping.
hair. Yeah. I was like, whoa. But also just the quality of the composition.
Yeah.
And the
And
complexity.
the sets and the costumes, everything.
Yeah. But most of all, the use of music when they decide to use music. Okay, I don't know much about musicals, but I do know this idea of that you begin to sing in musicals when your emotions are too great to convey them through dialogue. In High School Musical, sometimes they just start singing for seemingly no reason.
They sort of blur the lines with the whole conceit of it's a musical about people getting into musicals. And so sometimes they'll kind of bridge the two things where it's we're going to have a musical number, but it's also them practicing a musical number for the in-world play,
Yeah,
which sort of pacing wise is a little strange. It kind of works.
but I would argue that in High School Musical 3, the vast majority of their musical numbers are characters bubbling over with emotion and then singing that out instead of just, we're playing basketball, basketball, here's a ball.
Get your head in the game.
Get your head in the game. The song is whispered and you didn't remember that being whispered. Why is it whispered? Why is it so quiet?
Was it Victoria? Was it you?
Yeah, because I was doing some research on the first High School Musical. Actually, it started because I was watching High School Musical 2, and I noticed in at least the version that I watched that some of the music was off sync or mixed poorly. So I was like, what's up with that? And I was like, is it just this version that I'm watching? Have other people noticed this? So I did a little searching, and some people did notice it. I think, Jino, you said you didn't notice it, so maybe
I noticed it
maybe
later.
they fixed it for the Disney Plus version.
They did not.
Okay, they did not.
I noticed it in later musical numbers when someone would sing and their line would just kind of overlap with the next person's line.
Yeah.
I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah, so High School Musical 2 is a little weirdly mixed for some reason. It's still great. I just feel like they maybe cut corners a bit, or the theory is maybe some of the songs weren't fully finished when they had to film it, and then they had to finish the songs afterwards and then just kind of make it work for the movie. Because when you listen to the studio version of the songs, they sound great. But that led me to discover that Zac Efron actually didn't sing for most of High School Musical 1. It was actually someone named, I'm actually going to look it up so I don't get it wrong.
I think it's Drew Seeley.
Yes, Drew Seeley. I was like, Drew Greeley? No. Okay, Drew Seeley actually sings most of High School Musical 1. So you'll notice there are moments where Zac Efron sings maybe the first verse or first couple lines, and then it switches to Drew
A
Seeley.
different guy.
Yeah. But honestly, I didn't notice when I watched it this time.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah. They do a good job of blending it. Now that I go back and I know that it's not Zac Efron, then I'm like, okay, I definitely hear that it's not Zac Efron, but it didn't change my viewing experience.
Yeah. I'd have to double check this, but I think they did a High School Musical tour around the country,
Mm.
and Drew Seeley was like the performer while like the rest of the cast performed.
Wow.
Well, at least he got his moment in the spotlight.
Yeah, well, I'd have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure I saw that as I was researching, but interesting.
And Zach went, never again.
Anyways, all this to say is some people think that Get Your Head in the Game is mixed quieter because they're trying to hide the fact that it's not Zach Efron. Maybe because that song is much more like spoken than other songs in the musical. So it's maybe easier to notice that it's not Zach Efron saying those words.
I could
guess.
see it.
Yeah.
But it's just overall not my favorite song, to be honest.
Yeah, I was hoping I'd like it more.
I remember it being better. Just
It's
like,
okay.
not incredible.
High School Musical 3 makes up for it.
Yeah.
High School
does.
Musical 3 makes up for any flaws the first two had because you need the context of the first two
That's
to
true.
get into the hype of the third one.
Yeah.
Because it's so hype all the way through.
There's that moment. Shannon and I were talking about it before coming here, and then we talked about it when we were here with you, Victoria. But in the middle of that number,
The opening.
they're doing the whole like sports movie thing where everything gets real slow and like Troy takes like a bad spill and all the sound washes out and it's like doom 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 and it's like oh try and then what like and it's definitely choreographed, not just as like a like make sure that all the extras do this, but like dancing wise it feels like that kind of attitude where everyone in the stands like bends down and they have all the placards like to make the Wildcat symbol, and then Gabriella
Rises up.
in like pure white and
It's almost like biblical.
Yeah.
she's like an angel, she's like up on the
Up
stands.
in the stands. She's
Just casting divine magics on him.
It's a killer like character introduction.
It's so good.
I was saying to Shannon last night when you got in from your harrowing plane flight that as Toy Story 2 is to Toy Story 3, High School Musical 2 is, I think, in a number of ways to High School Musical 3. There's like certain plot similarities and even just like the progression of songs, the order of songs, and like the meaning of the songs is sort of similar, where we get a propulsive everyone's in this number at the start. We quite soon after get a Sharpay wants a lot of stuff number. We have like a do we have a quasi breakup song in 3, or do they just kind of move on?
They have a song celebrating their last.
No.
Well, no,
they
right?
each have their own breakup song,
Yeah.
actually.
Because Gabriella's is like the walk away.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Gabriella's like, I have to go to Stanford.
Yeah.
It makes it seem like she's dying.
Okay, sorry.
Pictures
I
are
don't
fading
understand
on
how
the
she goes
walls.
to Stanford while like the school year hasn't ended yet.
Yeah, so the whole plot of High School Musical 3 is that it's their senior year. So everyone wants to spend their senior year to the fullest. And so
Sorry, I just remembered. I was like, how does the plot happen? Oh, yeah. Kelsey, who we haven't talked about, who like makes all the school musicals, realizes that no one signed up for like the spring musicale. And it's just going to be Sharpay. So she signs her entire homeroom up for the musical. And everyone's like, why do you do that? And she just kind of is like, whatever. You're in it.
They're all like, why'd you do that? We don't want to do this musical. But then Gabriella convinces them to go ahead with it because she's like, guys, it's our senior year. It's our last time to do something all together. Let's just like go out with a bang, Simultaneously, also, the teacher has submitted 4 students for consideration at Juilliard. And each year, Juilliard will come to East High and select one person to receive a scholarship. And the people who are up for it are Sharpay and Ryan, obviously. But also they're rich, so why do they need the scholarship? And then Kelsey, who obviously deserves it because she writes everything.
Been writing like S-tier music.
Yeah. And then Troy. And Troy's like, I didn't submit. Like, what happened? And it's like kept a mystery at first of who submitted this application for Troy. But that gets Troy thinking like, man, do I want to pursue theater post-grad? Like, do I want to go to college for theater or do I want to go for basketball? Because for most of his life, he knew what his plan was, which was he was going to graduate from East High and then go to the University of Albuquerque with Chad, his best friend, because that's where his dad went to school. So just following in his dad's footsteps, joining the basketball team, making his career as a basketball player. But now he's conflicted because he's like, the stage calls to me as well. Simultaneously, Gabriella is considering going to this early admittance Stanford thing, which is like, she's not going to Stanford early. Like, she's not, at first I thought she was graduating early because I was like, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like she got accepted to a program where like you get to go to Stanford for 3 weeks to just like meet the professors, meet some of your future classmates, see what life is like there before actually going to Stanford, which sounds pretty nice. Everyone's like, of course you should go. But she's like, but I'll miss the spring musical. But they're like, but you can come back for prom. Like, we can still enjoy our senior year together. And she's like thinking about it, but she doesn't tell Troy because she knows that he'll tell her to go, but she's feeling conflicted because she just wants like a normal senior year experience, which is also valid. But then Sharpay discovers that she's been accepted to this Stanford program.
Hijinks.
And Sharpay's standard
again, trying to
blackmail
ruin
material for Gabriella is always like, she's a nerd.
And then she
She's
prints out a piece
smart.
of paper.
And then delivers it to Troy or something. No, she just tells him. I don't know why she prints it out this time, actually.
No, but I think they posted it all over the school.
Oh, right. They like announce like, congrats to Gabriella Montez for getting into this
Her
program.
villain plots are always, Gabriella is so competent. I need everyone here to know how competent she
I'm
is.
going to weaponize her sheer impressiveness.
Yeah, because she does the same thing in High School Musical 1 when Gabriella first gets there, and she like Googles her and finds out that at her old school she was like super smart, high honor student.
Yeah.
And so Sharpay's like, I'm going to tell the decathlon team and they're going to poach her and that way she can't audition.
Yeah.
It's honestly, I look at what the decathlon team and the basketball team did to their ostensible friends, and I'm like, that's just cruel. But Sharpay's is like deviously smart because
Yeah.
she's like, I'm not actually antagonizing anyone against me.
Yeah, she's not starting
I'm just-
false rumors about Gabriella.
She's just like, I'm just
this
pitting
is
people's
true.
priorities against each other.
Yeah. She's a master manipulator. And her big villain plan for High School Musical 3 is play Gabriella in the High School Musical play.
Yeah, well, because she's like, I want Troy to find out that Gabriella got accepted for this program because she also knows that Troy will tell Gabriella to go. So in a weird way, she's like 100% right. Like, Gabriella should talk to Troy about this. And they should talk about how they shouldn't let their worries about being long distance and stuff get in the way of their relationship or whatnot. But Sharpay's not doing it for Gabriella. She's doing it because she knows that if Gabriella can't be in the musical, then Sharpay will be able to take her place.
Yeah, she kind of went from like pining after Troy in like the first and the second to that shifting towards getting Gabriella out of the way, but like for herself, not to be with him.
Which I actually like way more in
Yeah.
High School Musical. It just works way better because in 1 and 2, you're kind of just like, Troy obviously doesn't like you and you have no chance.
Yeah.
This is like so silly to be spending your time over. At least in High School Musical 3, you're like, okay, like I'm seeing the outcome here. I'm seeing this happen for you and it makes sense why you're going down this path, even if it's all for selfish reasons. Anyway, so Troy finds out, he talks to Gabriella about it, and then she's basically like, oh, but if I go, I don't know if I want to come back because she just doesn't want to say goodbye. And I'm like, but this is a 3-week program. Like, what do you mean you're just going to stay at Stanford? This is where the plot details get a little bit murky.
I agree.
Everyone's also telling Gabriella that once she goes to college, like, she and Troy are going to break up. Like, everyone just automatically assumes, like, oh, this is like a high school relationship. It's fine, like, there will be other boys. And Gabriella's like, no, but I love Troy and I want this boy. But, like, they never talk about it. So then Gabriella just talks to Troy and she's like, Troy, I have to go to Stanford, but I don't know if I'll come back. And Troy's like, what do you mean? And she's like, I just have to leave you behind. And he's like, what's happening?
I kind of got, or because at first I was confused, but then it's like, oh, they're straight up moving to California. Like, her mom is once again moving to California. And so it seemed like the idea was they're moving, and then in order to finish out the year, she's going to like fly back or whatever.
It's just
Two more
made very
times.
unclear the logistics of, is she going to stay with someone when she comes back for prom and the rest of the year and graduation?
It just felt sudden. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so you're just about to drop everything, never return. And this is my goodbye. Like,
Yeah.
Gabriella in the third movie has a very strange vibe to her.
Yeah.
Where, like, in the first movie, she's sort of like mouseish, but she's also very like actionable as a character. And then the second movie, her part is sort of with the rest of the ensemble. They're kind of like one voice. In the third movie, she's sort of like a Lord of the Rings elf, where she kind of like floats around through the movie and is like, Troy, I have to go.
That's true. It is really similar to Arwen in Lord of the Rings, where she's just like, I have to go.
She's like, one last dance. I'm not coming back. It's like, and you know, Troy's just like, everything's falling apart. I don't know who I am.
I think like the core of Gabriella's character in the third movie is that you have to go back to High School Musical 1 Gabriella, who has moved schools every single year. And so she just wanted like a normal final 2 years in high school. And her mom promised her, like, we're not going to move until you graduate. But then suddenly there's this Stanford opportunity and everyone's like, well, obviously you should take it because it's Stanford. And she's like, but maybe I don't want that. Like, maybe I just want to like enjoy the rest of my time with my friends before I have to say goodbye to them. I think her previous fears of like leaving her friends behind comes back from High School Musical 1, and suddenly in High School Musical 3, she's reminded like, oh yeah, I had to do this for most of my life and it really sucked. But now that I've really found like my people, it's even harder. So she's worried that if she goes to Stanford and comes back, then she'll be saying goodbye like multiple times in the span of like a couple months. And so she doesn't want to do that. So then I guess she just decides to go to Stanford.
Just cuts it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Troy is like, no, I'm going to drive my really beat up car all the way to California and I'm going to go to Stanford and then I'm going to convince you to come back for the musical / prom. This is also where I was confused because it was like, oh, Gabriella's going to miss the musical because she's in this program, but she's going to come back for prom. And then it's like, no, just kidding. She hasn't missed the musical. Like, we got her back just in time to like sing this like final number with us. And also prom is after and graduation. So I guess she cut her Stanford program short or something.
I think Troy skips his prom to go to
but
Gabriella.
Prom is supposed to be after the musical. That's why I was confused because I do remember Gabriella was like, you should go back to prom. And he's like, no, like prom is where you are or whatever. But I was like, isn't prom supposed to be after the musical?
I thought it was that night because like as they were dancing in that little area of Stanford, that was like, I thought that was their prom happening as the
That's
other
what I
prom
thought too.
was occurring.
It's just that I think earlier in the movie, the reason why the Stanford plan could work was because Gabriella was going to go and come back for prom.
Right. Yeah. They just make a subtle switch.
Maybe Sharpay secretly did another switcheroo where she's like, let's move up prom so Gabriella also can't go to prom. The reason why I think so is also because Gabriella doesn't seem conflicted at all when Troy asks her to prom. It's like an instant yes for her, right?
Yeah.
So she knows she's going to at least be there for prom.
Had she been accepted to that program at that point?
No.
Oh. I don't know.
It's
time to rewatch High School Musical 3 again.
Taking detailed notes, creating a timeline. All right, let's break out a calendar
Honestly,
for 2008.
High School Musical 3 has such good songs that I was just like not focused on it.
Yeah, the plot holes notwithstanding, I was mostly in that scene thinking about how the way the scene is cut makes it seem like Troy teleported there with his truck. Because like it's 1,200 something miles, right?
Yeah.
So like an average of 60 miles an hour. That's like almost a full 24 hours of driving in that terrible truck.
That truck didn't make it.
Yeah.
No, apparently it does make it all the way back to Albuquerque afterwards, too.
I'm pretty sure when it makes it back to Albuquerque, it immediately just like every part of it explodes.
The movie could have easily taken a really dark turn, which is Troy and Gabriella try to drive from California to Albuquerque.
The bolts were just popping off as
and then they crash on the side of the road and they're just stranded.
Well, there's that secondary character who's like the newbie on the basketball team who's Troy's understudy in the play who gets a text or whatever from Troy saying, just made it back to Albuquerque.
Been driving all night.
Yeah, been driving all
he's
night.
like, I'll be there as soon as possible.
But he's like, I gotta sleep. I'll try and make it for like the second act or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so if it
Wait,
took...
did it say that?
No, I think he's just driving.
Oh.
I don't think he was sleeping. I think he was just like,
Yeah.
I've been driving all night.
He drove
I'm still
and
not
he drove
back.
right to school.
I must have invented that. In my
Michael
head, I
was
was
like,
this
I
man
had
needs
to watch
sleep. You need a nap before you perform. So, okay, if the math works out, then Jino.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
No, I mean in terms of
it
24
could.
hours.
Yeah, 24 hours from the night they were dancing in Stanford, and then 24 hours later if the musical is the following night.
So if he was awake for 48 full hours, driving all the way to Stanford, where he would then stood in a tree to wait for Gabriella to walk by and then dance and like say all this romantic stuff, and then spend another 24 hours straight driving back, I mean, hypothetically, we could say that Gabriella spent some time behind the wheel. Perhaps,
Yeah.
but no, he
Well,
said...
also, Gabriella's mom is at the play, so they also picked her up at some point.
Oh, so she was in the car too.
Must have been.
Maybe she flew.
Maybe they took Gabriella's mom's
maybe
car.
she had her own car.
She must have, yeah, she must have driven behind them.
in her
That'd be-
minivan.
Her minivan. Oh, Shannon, the minivan. High School Musical 2.
Yeah, that scene where she's new topic. The Gotta Go My Own Way.
That song is so good.
The song is so good. And then
What about us?
What about
everything we've been through?
But what about trust?
You know I never wanted to hurt you.
But what about me?
What am I supposed to do?
Wow.
I
gotta leave, but I miss you.
When I rewatched it, I had a flashback to like me in high school just like belting to that song for like some reason.
Yeah.
I don't even know why.
I think on my karaoke CD, that was the track that got played the most.
Nice. It's a really good like singing your feelings out song.
Would you say that's your favorite song of the series, of the
The
franchise?
series.
Do you have a favorite song?
I feel like that one like holds like a certain place in my heart because I think I played it so much, and the second movie was like, I didn't watch the first movie like when it came out. Like I watched it within like a year of it coming out, but the second one, I think I was watching it like the minute it dropped on the Disney Channel. And so I think that song for the second movie is probably one of my favorites. The whole
Nice.
franchise, that's a tough question.
Yeah. But the minivan.
The minivan. So at the end of that song where they're parting ways so dramatically, and then her mom just pulls right up in the minivan.
Her
and
mom's
she
like
hops
pulling up
in.
and she's like, what's happening?
I imagine Gabrielle, after having this like very sort of like ascending to maturity, like this is an unhealthy dynamic, you know, sheds one graceful tear, maybe two, gets in the van and is immediately like, Mom! Mom, I broke up with it, but Troy's being a jerk.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a normal, as you said, Shannon, was like brown soccer mom van,
Yeah.
just a normal minivan.
It's stuff like that that reminds you, like, yes, they're in high school.
And it makes me think they're like far away, like at some like resort, and she's getting picked up and she's like going home for the rest of the summer. But then like the next scene or one of the next scenes, like Troy's also just at home on his bed, like sad. Like they all just like went home at the end of the night, but
Yeah.
like it just seems so dramatic them pulling away.
Because they're partying in the night.
Yeah.
And they've broken up. She took off her tea necklace and gave it back to him.
Oh, the tea necklace. Man, that was another moment where I'm like, unless you were fully committed, it'd be so hard to sell this in a scene. Like, I got you something. It's a necklace with the letter T on it for Troy. And it's not played as like oh, this guy. It's like oh, he's so sweet.
And she wears it for the rest of High School Musical 3 as well.
Does she?
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't even notice.
It's a key part of her wardrobe.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of small details, Shannon, I know you noticed it. Victoria and Jino, did you notice a certain cameo at the end of High School Musical 2?
Yeah, Miley Cyrus.
Oh,
Miley
yeah.
Cyrus.
I didn't actually notice when I watched it, but I retroactively noticed it later.
Oh, like you were playing it back in your head?
No, it was because I was looking stuff up about High School Musical 2. Then people were like, oh, and then remember the Miley Cyrus cameo? And I was like, Miley Cyrus cameo? And then I went back and rewatched it.
I was just imagining you like, it's like 1 a.m. and you're like lying in bed and like the events of your day are playing back in like perfect, accurate detail
Yeah.
as you like review all the footage.
And I'm like,
What was that?
Apparently it was
Enhance. No, I'm kidding.
at the time there was like a poll or something where like
Yeah, a
people could
contest.
vote. Yeah, like a contest on which Disney Channel star you wanted to cameo
Oh.
in High School Musical 2.
But it was
Really?
they'd already filmed it, and so they rigged it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know
Really?
the timeline. I don't know if it like if
That's
the
what
poll
I
happened
heard.
like when the movie was being filmed or not.
I wonder who the other options were.
I mean, they made the movie in less than a year. So,
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
like,
Yeah.
inevitably.
They have them all on deck. Okay, guys, we're down.
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a number of ways it could have gone, I guess.
She's only there for like 2 seconds though, so
Yeah.
it is possible that they just got all of them to like go on set for like
At
a
some
couple
point.
hours, and they were just like, let's just like we'll like film once with Miley and then once
True.
with everyone else, and then whoever wins the contest.
I wonder if anyone who voted on that was like, cameo, like they'll get a small part, like they'll have lines. And then it's
And
like,
it's just like, nope, they're just there.
just vibing,
Yeah.
bopping. Jino has a puzzled expression on his face as he tries to get to the bottom of this conspiracy.
I've had to go to Lost Media Wiki because
Okay.
there's not much about this for some reason.
Okay, according to Reddit, which
Yeah.
questionable accuracy, someone said there was a poll on the Disney Channel website during the filming of High School Musical 2 that was, who from Hannah Montana do you want to have a cameo in the movie? So it wasn't just all Disney Channel stars, it was specifically Hannah Montana.
But
Well,
of course they're gonna choose Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's gonna
So the
vote for
options
Billy
were
Ray Cyrus to show up?
Miley, Billy
Oh my
Ray,
gosh.
Jackson, and then I can't remember the last choice. And then they said, obviously, Miley got the most votes.
Jason Earls, Emily Osment, Billy Ray Cyrus. There were also questions about which sandwich they should have at the picnic. Peanut butter jelly, turkey, veggie wrap, lobster, and gorgonzola panini.
Should we do this for Nostalgia Club?
They voted
vote
on
now. What lunch should we get after we're done recording?
They voted on what slogan should be on Chad's T-shirt, the U of A mascot, what was written on Mrs. Darby's chalkboard.
Art department was just
Wow.
like, we need some help.
I guess. This is a crazy thing to do for a movie that has a 1-year turnaround.
Yeah.
The safe option would be to film a version with every single one of these items. But that's so much extra work and time
Yeah,
for, again, 1-year turnaround. So even if there's no evidence of this, I truly believe they rigged the poll because...
I mean, you'd have to.
Yeah, like they picked...
If they start seeing like one option start to like creep up, they're like, quick, get more people on staff to just vote
Like,
online.
I'm looking at the losing options, and they're all objectively worse than the winning options. Like,
That's also possible. I mean, like the Miley Cyrus one, now knowing what the other options were, I'm like, they had to have known everyone's going to vote for Miley.
yeah.
Although
Man,
there's
I
a
would have
funny
loved a Billy
comment.
Ray cameo. Though.
Someone said, I don't remember who I actually voted for, but I do remember specifically not voting for Miley just to be different and cool.
Like the other mascot options, Red Hawks won, but the other options were Tumbleweeds, Settlers, and Renegades. 3 objectively worse options.
Tumbleweeds. That's
Or-
pretty awesome. Can you imagine Troy goes from being on the Wildcats to being on the Tumbleweeds?
The Tumbleweeds. Anyway, I think it was rigged. This is my grand conspiracy. I'm signing up.
I can believe it easily.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining, like, all right, the votes came in. They need to have a pear and gorgonzola sandwich on the picnic blanket. What takes do we have for that? And it's like a take that fails halfway through. They break out laughing and they're like, well, the poll said we got to do it. So,
Yeah. Okay, Shannon, you're on the podcast. We have to ask you, do you have any specific High School Musical related memories that you'd like to share, or High School Michael related memories you'd like to share?
Now's your chance.
This is our only chance to ask you, are there any exciting Michael tales, Michael adventures?
you could effectively make something up, Shannon. You could insist it's truth, and no matter how much I deny it, it would just be like,
Let's see. I remember a certain shirt that you wore almost every day for like your sophomore year.
okay, I'm thinking
know
of
what
the
I'm-
Invisible Children shirt.
Yeah. And
It was so soft.
yeah, that was it. We were like, Michael, you gotta stop wearing that. He's like,
I'm-
but it's so soft.
I'm not a moral paragon.
And
it was
I
just a really
remember-
soft shirt. I mean, I cared about it, but anyway. So where is this going?
I'm just visualizing Michael in high school. This is not going anywhere.
Okay.
Just visualizing.
Well, in High School Musical 3, I did notice that Chad is wearing like the same shirt for most of the movie, including at graduation. He's wearing that shirt.
I mean, this is something kids do, though.
Yeah. So I think it's just true to high school.
Yeah.
Once again, they really captured the high school experience.
Michael and I weren't in high school at the same time. Michael graduated, and the next year,
I think so, yeah.
Or maybe he graduated, and then like a year later, I went to high school. So we were never there at the same time, but...
Was there any sort of like reputation or legacy? Like, did teachers go like, oh, I knew your brother. He was the worst.
No, actually, my AP US history teacher, I think we had the same teacher, and history was not my thing as it was Michael's, and I was more of like a math and science person, whereas Michael excelled.
Shannon's the smart one.
No.
I'm the one who went to film school.
No, Michael.
Shannon went to business school.
Michael excelled in English and history, and also he was very comfortable in his own skin and like, you know, speaking in front of the class, and especially in those types of classes. So he left a very good impression. So then when I went to that history class, I was a good student, but he really made a name for himself in that class. So I had a lot to live up to.
Was it that, or did I give you like a little extra good vibes from the teacher? Like a little something in the bank waiting for you when you got there in terms of impression? I'd hope it was that one and not just like, I have great expectations for you,
No.
Shannon.
It was all good. Not that, like, I had to live up to something, but it was like, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
Did you, because I was in that musical, that High School musical, like one summer. Did you ever see that? Did you go to that?
I think I did. I think I attended the production. I don't remember it really, though.
Yeah, me neither.
You were a jock, right? Singing Status Quo probably on stage.
Uh-huh. I was, did I talk about this on the
podcast? You played a basketball player, and you said you were too skinny to be convincing.
But you don't have to be convincing when the person who's playing Troy is suitably tall enough. And in comparison to everyone else who's a jock, you can believe like, yeah, that guy would be the team captain. Your other options are pretty slim pickings. I just, in relation to Shannon, I just have memories of you just singing these songs all the time, watching the movies. We must have had TiVo at that point in time.
Yeah. Well, by the third movie, we had DirecTV. Big upgrade.
Whoa.
Well, you know, prior to that, it was like you catch something on TV and you hope, but...
I don't think I saw it in the theaters. Did you guys see it in the theaters?
No, so actually I was going to say, I think I watched these movies out of order because I didn't watch High School Musical when it came out. Everyone talked about it, but I think I was like, it's not my kind of movie or something. So I like didn't watch it, but then I went over to a friend's house one day and they were playing, I can't remember if it was High School Musical 2 or 3. It was one of those. So I experienced either 2 or 3 before High School Musical 1, but I was like, oh, this is so fun. Like the songs are so good. And then probably retroactively at some point went and watched 1 and whatever the other one was. Yeah, so I didn't watch any of these in theaters. I must have watched it like, I know for sure is before I went to high school, but it was definitely like a couple years after the movies had come out. Yeah.
Yeah, we must have been in like, or myself personally, been in 3rd or 4th grade when the last one came out, but I remember my mom purchased it for me on like on the TV.
Yeah, I think I was definitely in middle school when I watched these.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like before I knew what high school actually was like, but not elementary school young. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I had watched these when I was a kid, my high school experience was so fundamentally different. Like, not just like practically, but aesthetically.
Yeah.
Like, even watching it now, I'm like, this school, I know it's a real school, but it feels like it shouldn't be allowed to exist. It's too much. There's too much happening.
But actually, it is a real school.
But it's a real school
Yeah.
that you can go to. And don't they have like a whole like shrine to High School Musical? Like in the hallway or something? I've seen a picture of it.
Well, now they've made High School Musical the series, too, where they went back to East High.
Right.
And then it's a show about the students at East High putting on a musical that is High School Musical 3.
What?
Yeah.
I have not heard
It's
of
called,
this.
well, the name of it is quite something. It's High School Musical, the series.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But in season 4, some of the original cast members came back as like their characters, but as adults.
Oh.
So I think it was Ryan, Martha, who's like the cheerleader girl.
Yeah.
The one who's like, I'm smart, but I also like to dance.
Unheard of.
Yeah. Chad comes back, I think, and then Taylor.
My God.
Yeah.
Corbin Bleu from Jump
Wow.
In.
Yeah.
So really, the other core 4 group outside of Troy and Gabriella
Yeah.
return.
Didn't they like date and then break up? So it's probably awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, Troy and Gabriella?
No,
real
and
life?
Oh,
Zac
Zac Efron
Efron.
and Vanessa Hudgens?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, now I know who you're speaking of.
The real
I
people.
forgot about that, actually.
So they probably don't want to work on projects
That's
together.
her. Also, like, Vanessa Hudgens is off making movies where she acts with herself. Have you guys seen the Princess Switch movies? They're actually really fun.
The Princess
Oh,
Switch.
I think so.
Is this recent?
So, in recent years, Vanessa Hudgens has executive produced and starred in a series of Christmas movies that are all her playing versions of different characters. So, the first one is like one of the characters she plays is a baker, and the other one is a princess, and they swap lives
Okay.
for reasons.
But
And
there's a
then-
series of these, and she's different characters every movie?
No. So she carries on the same characters from
Okay.
the first movie.
That's
but then
fine.
in other movies, they keep adding on characters.
Oh, there's more
There's
Vanessas.
more Vanessa
There's more
Hudgens.
Vanessas?
That's less fun.
I think
How
it's
does that
max,
work?
I think
So
it's
funny.
max 3 or maybe 4. I don't
Are they all
remember.
supposed to be like triplets, quadruplets, separated?
No, they're all unrelated.
Do you know what that
Actually,
means?
maybe one is a cousin of the princess. I don't remember. It,
And then like what? A fourth one is just some sort of like
maybe like an evil version.
There's only two
extra dimensional
explanations.
entity.
In-
Choose the form of
I
your
don't remember
destruction.
exactly
that,
what happens in
or-
the third one, even though I watched that one technically more recently, I guess. But the first one is just your standard, like, we swap places and we each fall in love. Like, similar to The Princess and the Pauper, where they swap places and then they fall in love with perspective. And then they both become, like, princesses at the end. And then the second one, I think, is, like, the original princess from the first one is like about to become queen or something, but then like a third Vanessa Hudgens appears as a villain to like sabotage. It's something like that.
So there's like a cloning experiment gone wrong or something.
Yeah. Anyway, so Vanessa Hudgens has been doing that. She was in an adaptation of the musical Tick Tick Boom,
Yeah,
which
I've
she
seen
was
a
also
clip of
really
that.
good
yeah.
in.
Oh, yeah.
So she's like busy doing stuff.
Zac
Zac Efron's
Efron's
also
busy.
he was in The Greatest Showman. He's acting like I think High School Musical really launched their careers. Not to
Yeah.
say it didn't do that for the others, but
That's true. He
And-
did another musical
Yeah.
after High School Musical.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Corbin Bleu was in Jump In. Do you guys know that Vine? Do you guys know that meme?
Wait, what?
It's so dumb. When I went to a summer camp at the college that I ended up attending, like a film camp, there was a Vine going around that was just someone going like, oh my God, is that Corbin Bleu from Jump In? That's it. That's the whole joke. But for some reason, this was hilarious to us. So it became a huge inside joke where every time we'd see like anyone, we'd be like, is that Corbin Bleu from Jump In? And then one of the kids from the camp met Corbin Bleu and sent us a picture going, is that Corbin Bleu from Jump In?
Wow.
And that was, and
Wow.
then
Does Corbin Bleu know about this meme?
I don't think so.
the
it's not-
prophecy.
It's like such like a you know when like you just say something dumb and then it just gets blown out of proportion in like the minds of your friends of like, this is really funny, guys. And it's not. And there's no context to even be like, there's nothing to understand. It's just Corbin Bleu from Jump In. But there he is.
Just like-
He's there.
I think Vanessa Hudgens posted a video, I want to say within the last year, but it's her in her car and she's just singing Breaking Free. And
Wow.
she sounds straight up like the recording.
Yeah.
It's so good.
We've talked about Bridget Midler on this podcast and like, wow, talk about people who land on their feet, you know, after like a young career in like the Disney world. It seems like that's happened for a lot of the people who are in this movie in terms of just what you know. Zac Efron seems to have had quite a wild life and career.
Yeah, I would say
Um,
like of all the Disney Channel like cast ensembles, it feels like most of the actors from High School Musical ended up pretty well adjusted.
It probably helps that most of them were only doing the movies.
Yeah.
So they weren't on like a TV set
That's true.
environment.
And they all really
Yeah.
talk fondly about the experience filming. They said
Yeah.
like they felt like they were really able to collaborate with the director and like put their own opinions on their characters into their performances. Like it wasn't just like read the lines on the page.
Right.
Yeah.
They got to advise on like certain aspects of their characters to make it feel more real.
So then I wonder who came up with the clothing swap in High School Musical 2.
I was going to get into that. So the clothing swap in High School Musical 2 after I Don't Dance, Ryan and Chad switched shirts and hats. So originally it was supposed to just be their hats that they were going to switch. It was the director's idea.
Mm-hmm.
But then they like swapped it. And I think the director just was like, why don't you guys also swap shirts? And so they did that. And it was just like a fun thing for them. But then they filmed it with their same outfits. Like they filmed a different version. So they were like, well, technically he probably could have like changed it in post if he wanted to, but he decided to keep the clothing swap for reasons.
Yeah.
Wink and a nod.
Actually, because I was, again, doing research, and then I was also talking with a friend about this, and they found this article from Business Insider, which is an interview with Ryan and Taylor's actors, Lucas Grabeel and Monique Coleman. And they just talk about moments from filming that they remember. And according to Lucas, so this is Ryan's actor himself. This is why I'm sourcing this, guys. I'm not just making this up. He said that Ryan being queer-coded was very intentional. He and Kenny Ortega actually like talked about it, and they were like just in his mannerisms and his clothing. And actually, canonically, I guess, Ryan is supposed to have a crush on Zeke, the basketball player who can also bake.
I mean, what a catch.
Yeah.
Basketball and baking.
I mean, and he's always got such a positive attitude.
Yeah, he's so nice.
He's so nice.
So it's like the I Don't Dance one, which is more commonly cited.
The AO3 bait. Yeah.
That one was not intentional. Like that was mainly they were just like, this is a fun song about like learning to see things from other people's perspectives. But I think the director still also kind of was like, I know this is like my subtle wink and a nudge towards this character. But
I mean, it is just one song, but the back and forth in it is just fantastic.
It's such a good song. And then in High School Musical, the series, you have to say the full name. In that fourth season, when Ryan comes back, they do confirm that he's in a relationship with Scott Hoying from Pentatonics. Not actually like Scott Hoying from Pentatonics.
I was like, the real
Scott
person?
Hoying plays his boyfriend in the show, but it's just really funny to me that it's Scott Hoying from Pentatonics.
Wait.
The person from Pentatonics plays a person in the world.
Okay.
They don't establish Pentatonics as a real band in the world of High School Musical.
I'm just imagining Scott from Pentatonics watching this series for reasons, and then they just name drop that, and he's like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, no, he's actually in it, and he like shows up to like support Ryan, because I guess like the original High School Musical cast members show up to help the students put on this musical of High School Musical. You can say High School Musical so many times and it will not get less confusing. But anyways, so hooray!
Okay. Well, that's great.
Okay, an important question that we all need to answer. Who's your favorite character?
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Yeah, because Kelsey's awesome.
She makes all the music.
She makes all the music.
Speaking of Kelsey, Shannon, this is something our mom figured out because, watching the movies and then she just starts Googling, right? Everything she can find. Kelsey's actress, Olesya Rulin, I'm just taking this from Wikipedia, which you may not know, born in Moscow, Russia.
Wow.
And she immigrated to the U.S. when she was 8 to rejoin her father. Lived in Texas, then Utah. She's a trained ballet dancer.
Whoa.
When she was 12, she entered a model search contest at the urging of her mom and won representation by 4 different agencies. Wild. She can play the piano. And then before going into acting, she was a certified nursing assistant and then worked at stores like Victoria's Secret and Nordstrom. And she was still working at Nordstrom.
Before getting into acting, she was a medical assistant. So when she was 14?
That's just what it says. I'm taking it verbatim.
Wikipedia.
I'm taking it verbatim. Apparently she was studying economics in Paris when the casting for High School Musical 2 took place.
Wait, how old was she?
Yeah.
It is possible she could be an actual adult.
She could be anywhere from 12 to 35.
Actually, I did, in a recent interview I watched, because now I've just been going down the rabbit hole.
She was born in 86.
Oh, okay. So she was...
20 when the first one came out?
That makes a little bit more sense, at least. In
Holds
a recent
the world record for
interview
youngest nursing assistant. Sorry.
Where, I think it was a video where Corbin Bleu and Monique Coleman were looking at old props from the movie, which is a cool video. I think he mentioned, I was the only one who was still in school when we were filming, so I would have to go to, the school trailer in between takes to, do school and everyone else. So I was like, oh, so everyone else must have been at least post high school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, helps
Yeah.
production-wise.
Who's your favorite character, Michael?
Pick
Pick one now and forever hold your peace.
Yeah, before watching, I probably would have said Kelsey just because I had such great memories of Kelsey, and I still do like Kelsey, but I think it's Ryan.
Yes.
Ryan's pretty awesome.
It's
I was
Ryan.
gonna say Ryan.
3 Ryans versus 1 Kelsey. The Ryans have it.
Ryan's also awesome. I'm not
Yeah.
hating on Ryan.
Victoria hates Ryan.
He just has like a good moral compass.
Yeah. He has a really good character arc. I
Yeah.
actually think he's maybe one of the few characters in these movies who grows.
who has an arc.
Because in High School Musical 1, he's very much just Sharpay's twin brother, and he just does whatever she tells him to do.
Mhm.
You can tell he has a little bit of objections, but he doesn't voice them. High School Musical 2, you see him start to be I don't know if we should be doing this. Maybe we should just leave our
Yeah.
He feels
classmates
betrayed.
alone. And then he feels betrayed because Sharpay just totally dumps him for Troy.
And he looks out for the people that
Yeah.
looks out for the wildcats.
I love how he just is so excited when he actually joins the main group. And he's just yeah, I'm I have friends. And
He's part of
I'm helping them put on a show. They actually respect my opinion as a choreographer.
I found it so interesting that in the 3rd movie, the whole Villain I Want song that Sharpay does is mostly trying to convince Ryan to help her.
Yeah.
And I was oh man, is Ryan gonna revert? But then he just doesn't. He sort of goes along with it, but just kind of gives up halfway through, and it just never followed through with. And I was oh.
Yeah. He has to be convinced by Sharpay because he's you were kind of mean to me last summer. But he also has dreams of being a big star. And then later he actually gets the second surprise Juilliard scholarship because he choreographed the whole musical.
They really gave it to the 2 people who really deserved it.
Yeah.
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 I was if Kelsey didn't get that scholarship, I would have rioted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I still want to shout out Troy's performance because it was better than I remembered.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
He's so good at looking like he doesn't want to be there. I think another actor would have made him more unlikable, but he's put in all of these really awkward situations, and instead of reacting with disgust or malice, he reacts with this kind of bewilderment of what's happening. I don't want to be here. Oh, we were talking earlier before we recorded this about the specific number in High School Musical 2 that you were wondering if they cut from Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't. They just
didn't.
made it shorter.
Ah, okay.
It felt too essential to the plot, and so they had to keep it.
It is unfortunately essential to the plot.
Are we talking about the strangely Pacific Islands
Yeah.
coded? Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's
was
not good.
That felt
When
like
it was
something
happening, I forgot that it happened.
Yeah.
I also forgot that it happened, but upon watching it, I was horrified to realize I have those lyrics seared into my brain somehow.
Really?
Oh my
Because I guess
gosh.
when I watched it as a kid, I had no idea about the cultural implications of that song, and I just was cool, funny song, and I just listened to it.
I
all the
didn't
time.
have the lyrics because I don't think I played that one on my karaoke.
It is one of the only songs that the lyrics don't have a direct correlation to what's happening in the plot. Maybe some vague correlation about
It's just they kidnap Troy and they put on a performance, and he's just bewildered. the
yeah,
whole
and then
time.
and the song's about we grabbed this fish and I'm a princess.
Yeah.
And it's okay, I guess.
And then she's you're going to be the fish, Troy, when we perform this for my daddy
But it
and
does,
all the people.
It does really effectively put you in Troy's shoes because
Yeah.
you also don't want to be there.
Yeah, it does help that it is literally a villain's song.
You do also want Sharpay to stop.
Yeah.
And then that way I think it's a very effective scene.
So they made it shorter. on
Yes,
Disney
I
Plus.
heard that they had either omitted it or shortened it on Disney Plus.
But not that much shorter.
But then apparently not that much. Because I was wondering how they would even cut it out, because it actually is important to the plot, because that's the reason why Troy is late to his date with Gabriella. You do feel bad for him because you're he did not sign up for that. And I wish he had told Gabriella this crazy thing happened. Because I think maybe Gabriella would have been a little bit more understanding. She is actually a very understanding girlfriend in High School Musical 2, to be fair. She's very not the jealous girlfriend. It
Yeah.
takes a lot for her to be hey, Troy, I actually don't think this is working out. For the most part, she's like, yeah, I understand, like, Sharpay's a lot. I know you don't have feelings for her, and she's just, like, going after you for whatever reason. But Gabriella's never like, ugh, I hate Sharpay. Which I actually really appreciate, because I feel like movies around that time were very, like, love triangle driven with, like, lots of jealousy, particularly between female characters. So at least there wasn't that. But I was just like, Troy, you gotta tell her. You gotta be like, I wanted to come to our date, but then I got kidnapped by our boss
and forced to watch
this crazy
a very
performance.
uncomfortable,
I highly choreographed.
Speaking of Gabriella, I also wondered how she felt about like the whole Juilliard thing of all these people getting like nominated and like
I was also wondering
and, like,
that.
she was also like one of the main stars of their musicals and just like overlooked.
That's true.
They don't address it.
It is kind
no
of
one
rude
asks her.
because it's revealed that the high school drama teacher submitted Troy to
Right.
Juilliard, but she doesn't submit Gabriella.
Yeah.
Maybe she's like, Gabriella's way too smart.
Yeah.
She has to go to Stanford.
maybe. Well, this isn't a real theory, but I'm like, because the drama teacher, I'm forgetting her name, but it's a good name.
Mrs. Darbus?
Mrs.
Yes.
Darbus. She has this like contention with Troy's dad, the basketball coach.
I do actually like that theory. Like, I like that she just does it out of spite.
She's like, I'm going to take away
Your hopes and
son's
dreams.
Yeah, like this thing you've been building for since your son was a kid. I'm about to steer that off the freeway. There's a good scene in the first movie, though, that Shannon and I specifically remember our mom liking very much, where Mrs. Darbus and the coach are like talking to the principal and they're arguing because she put his, basketball players in detention. And the principal's like, hey, come on, we're all on the same team here. It's East High. We got to be of one mind on this. And they're like, okay. And then he turns to the coach and goes, so, how's the season coming? Troy got him whipped into shape.
His office is filled with basketball paraphernalia, which is awesome because as you're watching, you're like, obviously this coach is heavily biased towards the basketball team. Which makes sense because it's like, that's your one like money maker,
Is that also the principal's only scene in all three movies?
He's got one more scene earlier in that movie.
I see.
But I don't think he's in...
Where he's like, welcome to school. You're very smart.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I wonder if he was in the third one at the end.
No, because at the end, when they do the graduation ceremony, well, first there's like the graduation song in the musical where they like announce where all the students in the drama program are going to school.
Can we talk about how crazy it is that on stage she says, Troy, you have a decision to make?
On the spot, Troy has to decide what college he's going to. And then he just out of nowhere is like, I'm going to Berkeley. Nowhere in the entire movie has he mentioned anything about getting into Berkeley.
He did mention a little bit.
Well, he was just like, I've been
like,
accepted to other schools.
Yeah.
But he didn't say Berkeley.
Yeah.
It's so wild to be putting on a musical about not just like the concept of a senior year, but your senior year specifically.
Yeah.
And then I guess updating it in real time as your events play out.
And it's also the spring musical. They weren't working on it from the beginning. Kelsey was just like, in addition to being a high school student, I'm just going to whip up a full-throated musical.
She also conducts the orchestra at the end. I was like, whoa, this girl has to go to Juilliard.
But the announcing the college decisions on stage makes sense if Troy is the main character in the musical that's being put on, and his dilemma about which college to choose is the central conflict of the musical within the movie.
Instead of the audience just like, he hasn't decided.
Which is weird to be Troy playing yourself and having to make this decision in the musical while also making it in real life.
That's true. Also, we had to think about like Troy and Gabriella's duet in the musical is written to be like them being conflicted about being long distance.
They get meta with this movie.
Yeah.
I love the meta-ness. I also love it when a, quote, traditional High School musical number transitions into a stage performance halfway through and you're like, oh, what's going on? Like, so they're on
They did
sets.
that a lot in this movie.
It's
and
really
it's so good.
It really, really works. And I really love it.
Yeah. So my favorite song...
Don't think about it.
or one of my favorite songs, A Night to Remember, the song where they're like singing about going to prom. That was just so fun.
It is fun.
And they like go full out on the dancing and everything. And you're just like, wow. Like, you didn't even have to see them go to prom because that basically was prom.
What I was wondering was when they did the Sharpay villain number in like the musical in the finale, but it was just Ryan. So they cut Sharpay out of her number. It's just Ryan. And then all of the backup dancers that were in the movie earlier, they came back in real life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where did you come from? Who are you? You're not students here.
Just Ryan's personal
It's
connections.
just blurring the
I
line. Yeah,
guess.
probably. Ryan and Sharpay hired backup dancers. But that's what got Ryan into Juilliard, because they were so impressed by his like really impressive choreography that involves so many backup dancers.
And he deserved it.
Yeah.
This is a complete tangent, but I was really impressed by how realistic the basketball game at the beginning of the movie was.
Mm-hmm.
In the first two movies, when they play basketball, you're kind of like, all right, they're playing basketball. But in the third movie, they're playing basketball. They're doing that thing that like a lot of high school teams do, where they will communicate the play they're going to do to the other teammates by like holding up like a number.
Uh-huh.
And like when I saw them doing that, I was like, oh, they're playing high school
They're
basketball.
really playing basketball. Also, Zach Efron said that all those baskets that he made, he was talking about High School Musical 1, but I assume this carried over into other movies. He said he made all those shots. Because there's no like CGI basketball shots at the time. So he really had to like get all those baskets.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's funny in the scenes where like Troy's like, I'm so conflicted and angry. And they
then he
show that
misses.
by him missing baskets. I was like, I wonder if those were easier or harder to film.
Are you suggesting he's so skilled that it's harder to miss
No, I
baskets?
just mean like sometimes it's like if you train so hard to like, especially in basketball, like in order to make shots, like the way you drill it is by like, oh, you're always going to target like this part of the backboard or wherever to make the shot. But then like if you've drilled that into your brain for a while and then suddenly they're like, no, actually this time you have to miss, I think I'd have a hard time.
Yeah, it's
I'd be
possible.
like, oh, but like my muscle memory like wants it to do this now.
I could see it. That'd be
But you know, like
amazing.
props to Zach Efron. He really put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the more all of you have talked about this movie and everything going on behind it, the more I'm like, there was a lot the actors themselves had to do to just like, okay, I got to carry this butt. Like, I just like, yeah, we need you to sink these baskets. And it's like, oh, all right. Yeah, we need you to create the choreography for this music number that has nothing else going on with it. Just the music and some slow dolly shots of the golf course. That's
And
something
it
else.
inspired a generation.
Well, I mean, we're still talking about it. And
Yeah.
the memes are still alive.
Michael brought this up to me yesterday, but the closing scene with the close-up shots on each of their faces and it being just such a, what did you call it?
Well, I think it was like it's a cinematic curtain call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They did that in Avengers Endgame.
But High School Musical did it first.
High School Musical did it
true.
first.
Speaking of other well, I don't know if it was a first, but everyone goes like, oh, Inception with the hallway that's spinning around and
I
around.
thought about that too. I was
Yeah.
like, it's literally like an Inception when he like spins. That song is so funny. Like it's really good, but it's so funny when it starts because you're just like,
Yeah.
Troy is like so emo.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go. What's the right thing?
I'm
Or
pretty sure the
whatever.
Inception machine is like they built the Inception hallway machine and then they just keep it.
Yeah.
And then movies will just rent it out to make
Huh.
Inception references.
Oh.
But like Inception came out in 2010.
What? Really?
That's what it says.
Yeah, it was 2010. Oh, High School Musical
Did
did
it first again.
Whoa.
Hold on.
I mean, look, I'm sure Inception had a longer production time than High School Musical 3, which it seems like was just 2 years.
Someone worked on High School Musical 3 and then went onto the Inception set and was like, guys,
We have
I've
someone
got
We
to
have
visiting.
this thing.
Christopher Nolan was like, I visited a set just the other day.
it was so weird that in Inception when suddenly they start breaking out into song and dance.
I was sorry. I was trying to make it
Inception
make
is
sense.
just a copy of High School.
I'm sure the Inception one was like bigger because it was like a longer hallway.
Mm-hmm.
The High School Musical one I think was just shorter, but it did make me go, how did they get like the effect of seeing the longer hallway? Some sort of trick of mirrors or whatever?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Okay, according to a very, very brief Google search, apparently the first movie to do this was 1951, You're All the World to Me. I think that's what the movie's called. It's Fred
Astaire?
Yeah, who was in Singing in the Rain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's a lot older than that.
Wow.
I was wrong.
Still very impressive.
Yeah.
And very iconic.
Very iconic.
You know what? I don't think we actually got Shannon's favorite song.
I mean, we talked about Gotta Go My Own Way from High School Musical too.
That's true. I do remember you singing the prom song, or at least lines from the prom song. Like,
oh,
The
I really
Night
liked
of
You Are the
Nights.
Music in Me. I sang that a lot.
yeah.
The one where they sang it around the piano, like near the kitchen.
That one's fun.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Well, any last High School Musical thoughts? Speak
Last
now or forever
question.
hold your
Do you want
peace.
the rest of your life to feel just
Oh
like
my gosh, yeah.
High School Musical. Who says we have to let it go?
It's
It's the best part we've ever known. Step into the future.
hold on to High School Musical?
Something.
I do think that song is funny because they're basically like, we love high school. We don't want to leave those memories behind, but also we do have to move on.
The movie is very existential until the very end, and then it's like, nah, forget
Yeah.
about it.
Because a lot of people
it's
talk
the
about like how
synthesis.
like you shouldn't peak in high school because there's so much life left to live.
Mhm.
But most of High School Musical 3 is like,
I'm
I
peaking in
don't
high
want to
school.
leave. I mean, for Sharpay, like that's basically her conflict is like, I'm queen of the world at East High, but if I leave East High, then I'm no longer the boss of everyone.
So she's staying. Some of the characters make compromises to like make sure they get everything at the end of the movie. How is Troy going to juggle a theater degree and playing on the basketball team? How is that going to work?
Well, my friend did comment on Troy's decision to go to Berkeley when I was talking to them, and they were like, why did Troy choose Berkeley? Because Berkeley neither has a good basketball team nor a good theater program. So maybe he'll be okay because he'll get there and realize it's not very good.
Oh,
Well, maybe that'll help then, right? Because like he's so new to drama and like theater that like he's got the interest and the talent, but he needs like if he went to Juilliard, it'd be immediately like, uh-oh, I'm here with people that have been doing this like their whole
Yeah.
lives. So he needs like a smaller pond.
That's true. It's true. Also, I wanted to say that there actually was a follow-up movie about Sharpay after High School Musical 3. Did you ever
I
watch
didn't
it?
watch
It
it.
was called Sharpay's
Like Fabulous
Adventure.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch it either.
Did
but
they go to New York City?
Yeah, she goes to New York because she gets scouted or something. And then she just does fun New York stuff.
Oh, so canonically, she did,
Did you
make
watch
it out
it?
of
I didn't watch it.
Albuquerque.
I wonder if she
Yeah.
has an arc of sorts. I would
Yeah.
have.
I did
arc of sorts.
I did briefly consider watching it in preparation for this, and I was like, maybe in the future.
just a cool 90 minutes of Sharpay
Yeah.
gaslighting her way through
I
New
was
York.
like, I don't know if I need that much more Sharpay.
I would love if she got another great villain song, because that's what they are. Like, personally, I'd stack up I Want It with certain, maybe not all-timer Disney villain songs, but like, I mean,
I Want It All is just a great song overall.
Just the spectacle of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that it was just such a stark like juxtaposition. Looking at the first movie, status quo, they're in the cafeteria,
Yeah.
and then you cut to that also in the cafeteria, but it is a whole production.
Yeah. All the set pieces.
Yeah.
And then the this is one of those things where like I get swept away with it, where I'm like, they got the string runs going up at the end of every line, and I'm like, yeah, fantastic. And meanwhile, what she's envisioning is becoming so incredibly powerful to the point where like all of her former classmates are in service roles like beneath her. Featuring in her fantasies is like Troy is like a washout desperate for her attention, and
Yeah.
she's like, I don't need you anymore.
And then Gabriella's like her maid / like secretary kind of.
Yeah. But
And
hey, it's fun. Because you're like,
fun.
oh,
Yeah.
the rest of the cast is here.
Yeah, I also really like that number because of how it incorporates everyone else at school. And it's just so true to Sharpay and Ryan's characters and the way that they envision their futures. So it's
Or the way
great.
Sharpay envisions her future, and Ryan's,
Ryan's
like,
there.
oh, well, I don't know,
Well,
maybe.
Ryan gets into it at the end.
At the end.
Yeah.
It's just like they have similar goals in life, but the way they go about it is different.
Yeah.
So,
Ryan's a decent human being.
yeah.
And Sharpay, gaslight, gatekeeps, girl bosses.
Yeah. Ryan works with people, and people work for Sharpay.
Until they supersede her.
I thought they were going to do more with those two, like the girl from London and the rocket boy. I thought there would be more.
I honestly think they were the weakest parts of the third movie.
I think they needed Sharpay to have something else because she couldn't just keep having the same type of conflict every time.
I did appreciate the like taste of her own medicine type of thing, but I did kind of want her to just be like, "Ha, I'm leaving and you can be in charge of this mess now." But instead she was like, "No, I'm going to stay and lord over you," I guess.
There was like, and maybe it's a consequence of them not knowing that they were going to make like another movie after every single one that they made.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we'll have Sharpay be a villain, and then at the end she'll like kind of come around, I guess, so she can participate
That's
in
true.
the last
And then they're like,
number.
but we're making another movie, so now we have to make her bad again.
I mean, they did a good job of like sort of figuring out how to make her bad a little different. Because we even like recognized it, where by the third one, she's just like, I just want the notoriety. I'm not interested in Troy anymore, this stuff.
I think the third one is more true to her character and how it should have been in the first movie. Because the first movie is mainly she's like upset that this role that she wanted all year suddenly got stolen by like seemingly nobodies who like just appeared and decided to try out theater, whereas for Sharpay, theater is her life. But instead it turns into like, I mean, I guess she's not like super hyper fixated on Troy in the first one.
It's just like an extra, added element.
An added thing.
Shall we finish with some karaoke?
I think that's a great idea.
The question is, which of this vast pantheon of songs?
Well, while you guys think about that, thank you so much for listening to Nostalgia Club. First episode of season 5.
Woo, we're back.
We're back. Hello to all you new listeners. We hope you like the show. We have an extensive back catalog, so feel free to peruse. If you want to contact us and send us any questions or comments or suggestions, you can email us at nostalgicalpodcast@gmail.com. We also have an Instagram at nostalgicalpodcast. We're also under Mouse Knight Studios, which is Mouse Knight Studios everywhere on the internet. We also have a Ko-fi if you want to send us money so we can buy High School Musical merch.
And thank you, Shannon, for joining us.
Yes. Thank you so
This
much.
was so much fun.
Thanks for having me. Happy season 5.
Yeah. Woo.
Listen to Ghost Inspectors. And now, everyone else will sing their favorite High School Musical song
All at once.
all at once.
I think in the spirit of it, we could all go in with a we're all in this together.
Yeah, that's
All
true.
right.
That is the most iconic.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up the lyrics real quick.
Don't know. I don't know. You guys are singing these songs, and I'm like, I've seen these movies once, maybe twice. I don't know any of these songs by heart. Basketball.
Basketball.
We love basketball.
Shout out to Bad Lip Reading for doing a High School Musical video that inspired yet another generation. All right. Well, until next time.
1, 2, 3.
We're
all in this together. Once we know that we are, we're all stars, and we see that we're all in this together. And it shows when we stand hand in hand, make our dreams come true.
Yay!
Wildcats, something, something. We're Wildcats.
everywhere.
Wave your hands up in the air. That's the way we do it. Let's get to it.
Come on,
everyone.
Hooray! My high school was the Wildcats.
Oh, yeah.
It's an incredibly common mascot. It's not special. I literally
I was like, you should have said that.
I literally drive past like 2 other schools that have Wildcat mascots like on the way here. Like it's like, yeah.
We got to insert that song.
Yeah.
Or we literally go out on that because that's great.
No,
that's
we
a
gotta
great
go to the
button.
singing.
No, that's hilarious.